Welcome, Forex fans. It's Rob the Forex Explorer, and I'm here today with Pax Nova, which is the latest game from Grey Wolf Entertainment, the guys who were behind Dawn of Andromeda and Dawn of Andromeda Subterfuge. And, it was a game that I almost liked, and, I really wanted to like. And it was really something that had a lot of potential going into early access, but it didn't really make it quite to the point where I thought that it was good enough to recommend it. Yet this game I'm actually enjoying, and there's some simple mechanics to it that maybe are a little oversimplified for some people, but if you're a big fan of games like, well, actually the only thing I can really think of that's even remotely close to this game is the old school Emperor of the Fading Suns, and even then it's not nearly as deep as that game. So it's like a simplified version of Civilization meets a simplified version of like Galactic Civilizations. But even then, there's some depth to it that I was not expecting. So let's go ahead and get started, because I think you guys are going to be pretty surprised by some of the cool stuff that's in here. So now, there's 3 races in this game. Humans, and then I believe, we'll come down here one more. Nope, maybe one more. The Corvus, and then we come down here to the bottom, the Drosk. And of those 3 races, you can see many different factions. I think there's definitely more human factions than anyone else. But, you have, I think, 3 factions of the Corvus here, or maybe 4, okay. Then you have 3, I believe, of the Drosk. Nope, 4 of the Drosk as well. And I really like some of the aesthetic appearances of these guys. I mean, definitely they all look different. There are some exclusive technologies to each of these guys, so there is some like minor asymmetry, which if anybody knows me remotely, they'll know that I'm a huge asymmetry fan. So the exclusive technologies are good. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it's not really asymmetrical. Like there's some stuff here, like these guys have a flamethrower unit that's unique to them, which is cool. But somebody right here, they have an implant special module for ground units, providing the voodoo ability, which causes neighboring units to be instantly under mind control. That's pretty cool too. But there's some that are just kind of like +4 to this, +4 to that. I think Closer to Destiny is that one of those. So with this, there's these paths, right? And we're gonna get into those once we get into it. But the paths being increased by 4, that's not really huge. But again, asymmetry is difficult. I understand, so I'm not going to bag the game for it. But for the most part, the race design is pretty cool, and I'm liking it. So that's that's a good thing. And the graphics for this racial screen here are pretty good too. So it does remind me a lot of a Dawn of Andromeda, like especially with the race design. But it feels like an evolution of it, right? So I'm excited about that. I like that there's this many different factions. I wish they played a little bit more differently than they do, because I have played with a few of them and I didn't feel particularly wowed by how different they played, but that's okay. This is early access, which means that there's always time to improve on things and make things better, and maybe even add some asymmetry. So I like these guys. Just because they look weird, I'm gonna go ahead and do them. I've gone through all of them. In fact, if you want me to, I can do this real quick. You can see all of the various different factions. That nice little beeping sound is great. I despise UI clicking sounds, but it's okay. We'll go through all of them just so you can see, get a feel for what they all look like. And like I said, they all look pretty unique. I could definitely, the great thing is you can see the visuals of them are unique enough that you can immediately identify who they are based on their visuals. So let's take these guys. I'm sorry, I just like them. I haven't played them yet, and I'd like to. So there's a little backstory here, which is pretty cool. You can also create custom faction. I haven't done that, but we could maybe just take a look at it. All right, so you just give them a name, give them a description, give them a leader name, and then a look, as well as a flag. And then you can see about exclusive technologies through that. So nothing super deep, but cool nonetheless. I know a lot of people like to do custom factions, so let's get started. I'm gonna leave everything as default, which looks like it's all medium, and then common colonizable planets, common creature quantity, and we will go. So while it's doing this, I will say, like I said before, this game it's kind of like Emperor of the Fading Suns, in that it has both a dual ground, like terrestrial. Just gonna wait for it to load here before I continue talking. All right, we're gonna click through this, click through that. So yeah, what I was trying to say. Okay, before we go any further, I would like to remind you all that this is early access, so you're gonna notice some like sound effects that aren't right, or even missing sound effects. You're also gonna notice some various weird things, but for the most part, it's actually in a pretty good place for an early access game. I imagine that they did probably postpone early access to make it this polished, which I'm all for. I appreciate that they withheld, because they originally had this designed to, or planned to be released in the fourth quarter of 2018. So they clearly took some time to maybe polish it up a little bit more and then make it better so that it was as polished as it is now before they released it. So with that being said, I do remind everybody that it is early access. I'm going to go ahead and just skip the tutorial, because it's going to be basically going over the same stuff I'm going to be talking about. But what I was trying to say is that, right, like it's got a very Emperor of the Fading Suns feel, in that it's the dual layer terrestrial dual layer space 4X game that very few games are doing now. I don't know of another game actually that's done it at all. So as you can see, this is the galaxy view here. So then you can zoom in, see where you are in the galaxy. This is where we are. This is the actual system that we have presence in. You can double click that and you can see that there might be other planets in this particular system as well, since you got this mini map here that shows. Oh no, that's actually the galaxy mini map. Okay, so there's possibly more planets in this actual system as well, very likely. And then you can actually go all the way down to the planet view. You could have double clicked on this as well, so you can double click there and you can come down and see where you are on this map. It's a relatively small map, which I appreciate, because I think that if it went too big, it would be like completely unmanageable, at least for most people like me, where you don't want to be like micromanaging the ever-living crap out of every planet and having to do like all these things, because eventually you're going to have presence on more than one planet, so you don't want to be having to explore these giant planets, and you don't have to be exploring giant planets like all over the place either. So I think that's really important. So first off, this is kind of reminiscent of Endless Legend. I think the way that they started off actually even Civilization too, because I know that it does the same thing. But you can turn on the tile yields here, and you can see where what you're going to get from various different tiles. I will say that right now in this current build, food is so incredibly important that I truly believe food might be overly reliant on food at this point. So and that's okay, but what I would suggest to you is that you find tiles with a lot of food, because you're gonna need it. Oh, you can't settle on top of strategic resources. No. Okay, we'll have to move one more, which sucks. We're gonna have to take a turn. I didn't realize that was a strategic resource. It's Ethernerium, which has properties that can be used for a variety of medical products. You'll see that in the research tree here just very soon. So there are 4 eras to technology. The 4th era really being just the final era, where if you research it, you win, I guess, because you achieve a science victory through transcendence. The other 3 aren't particularly large. As you can see, they're not like huge. I would like to see more added to these, or maybe more. Maybe make them take more time, because once you even start getting a couple colonies going, technology goes by very fast. So maybe it needs to scale with the amount of colonies you have. So, or even cities on one planet. So we'll start with technocracy, so that we can see. As you can see, it says at the bottom, enlightenment, advanced path of enlightenment by 3. Here are the various paths. This will be something we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because I'm here in the technology tree. But each of these paths You gain points in through either pursuits of technology or various things that you do. So the technocracy one's going to give us 3 points in the path of enlightenment, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and take that because I do want to just, I want to advance our ability to research. I love that I can right click and immediately exit that screen, and we'll go ahead and intern. I will go over the various things, the various menus as we go through the game and as they become relevant, but you can quickly get a good feel for it. So we don't have any cities yet. We have one quest, which is to settle our first colony, which we should have done the first turn. And then there's also this edicts and leadership menu, and there's eventually you'll get more edicts as you research more things and as you actually just discover some of them, and they play a pretty important role from what I've seen. I haven't played too much with them, but you'll notice that the AI likes to change their edicts a lot, and they do become pretty important as you get some of the more advanced and more like specific edicts. So we'll keep an eye on this screen for sure. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and intern, and unfortunately we're probably gonna come over to here, and that will give us an opportunity to found our first city, which gives us 2 either. So either I guess would be the best way to do it. So our next objective now is to reach level 3 in Cestus, which is our initial planet, or sorry, our initial city here. And you can level up your city. I guess it's just through turns. I'm sure that the food has something to do with it, because the more food you have, the quicker you're going to have citizens. Citizens are really important because, let me come out of here for a second, just because those sound effects are pretty loud. But when you start building various districts, which you're going to see here in just a brief moment, you need people to actually man these districts. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and start a farming district here. Actually, we'll do one here. Okay, and once this is actually built, I'll need a citizen to be here in this farm for it to actually work. So that one citizen I have here, he's going to end up taking this spot here once the farm is closed, or once the farm is finished. So that's important. That's really important to know, because again, food's really important, because food will allow you to gain more citizens more quickly, and you need citizens to man your districts. So, eventually when we get to the military district, we'll need a citizen there so that you can produce units. Spaceport it'll require a person as well, a citizen, so that we can put ships into the space and stuff like that. So they're very, very important. Okay, so I think again it's probably just a little too important right now, but again, there's plenty of time for balancing. So let's go ahead and just rush this farming district for 180 credits. I have 1440 left, so it's not going to be too difficult. Whoa, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? I don't know what just happened. I don't know if I accidentally clicked on something. I guess I accidentally clicked on that. I don't get what just happened. Alright, I must have accidentally clicked on something. Or it may have been a bug, I don't know, but there we go. So this farming district, I had to spend twice what I should have to get it to go, but we're going to have this farming district going. It's going to have a citizen, so our next turn, our food production should be high. I think it'll add 3 because there's 2 base and then 1 for the farm. Maybe there's 2. Okay, it'll be 4. So we'll get up to 7 food per turn. The stuff here is pretty self-explanatory. Clearly, labor is going to be production capability. Science or research is going to be our ability to research, and food being our capability to feed our people. The more prosperity you have, the more food you have, the more prosperity you have, the quicker the city will gain citizens. That's not really well written, but that's okay. So prosperity being, where are we going to find prosperity? There it is. I knew it was somewhere here. So we'll definitely be needing to keep an eye on prosperity and food production. I imagine prosperity also has something to do with, and that's harmony. So residential districts allow for an increase in harmony. So let's see. Does that have anything to do with prosperity? Nope. So is there anything here that increases prosperity? No. extraction district. No, university maybe? Maybe? No, that's going to be research. Okay, so yeah, no idea how to increase prosperity, but maybe that'll be something we can figure out together. I've only played about an hour of this game. I was just super excited to show you guys all of this, so I didn't really go too much further. I just want to have like a general understanding of how the game played before I jumped in. So yeah, exploration takes place on these planets very similarly to like, you know, Civilization or any other 4X game you're very close to or similar to or familiar with, I should say. You can go and explore and find various different abandoned pods, crash sites, stuff like that. There isn't quite enough variety yet, but of course that's something you can increase and do stuff with in early access. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing more of those. I have the autosave set up for every 3 turns. The first time that you autosave, it asks you if you want to overwrite the other autosave, which I like, I appreciate. So it's weird to me that these things, what nether bulls, shoot something at me when they clearly look like they should be like running at me. So the animations aren't exactly my favorite, I'm not gonna lie. There could be some better animations, like every single thing shoots something, even if it clearly might be like a melee unit. Like I would imagine that another bull would be a melee unit, but yeah, it shot something at me, and unfortunately my scout's almost dead as a result. Alright, so we found the escape pod. It doesn't appear to be functioning, however it might be holding something of value. What should we do about it? We'll search the escape pod, duh. We'll get 5 osium. I wish I could mouse over that now to see what that is, but I'll come up here to see what it is. And it's a mineral with unique properties that can be used for a variety of purposes, especially in the military. That's not really good English. Especially in the military, notably to power ray weapons. So we have 5. I'm imagining that once we get through some of the tech tree, we'll find ways to use that. So yeah, like I said, the main issues I've seen so far are the animations aren't exactly my favorite. The race asymmetry isn't my favorite either, and there are quite a few like English errors, but these are all things I think really can be fixed. I'm pleasantly surprised at how much fun I'm having with this game, and it is very unique. So let's keep going in turn. We're gonna come through. I do like this district system too as well. The next setup, we're gonna go ahead and do a military district. I would imagine let's put it here. I want to use this one for maybe another farm. So we've got 7 food production, which is great because we're gonna have another citizen in 2 turns, which will be just in time for me to start producing some military units and pushing out and exploring more. Let's go ahead and move our scout here, down here. Can't cross the river, so that's alright. We'll keep on going. We're gonna take a look. Okay, so we've actually run into a minor faction, which I also like this particular game mechanic. So what you can do is send a delegation through the use of influence. And it's usually 4. Yep, it's cost 4 influence here. And as you get through to various tiers in your relationship, you can actually gain access to cool things. Like in this case, you can use how much is it? Sorry, 800 credits to buy a mind wave implant. And if you increase your relation to tier 2 and then tier 3, you can actually gain access to various other implants or various other basically like unit abilities and stuff like that. I will go into that in here in just a second. I'm going to show you, but yeah, it's a cool little mechanic. So the more, it's basically very similar to Endless Space 2. I don't really have any problems with them, like, you know, taking mechanics and making their own spin on it. I don't have any problem with it at all. Yeah, especially when the game is better for it. So let's actually use this as an opportunity to look at how this works. So let's say we take our light infantry here. So what we can do is, we can basically customize all of our units, like every single unit. So even scout ships, once we have ships that can go out and all these things, we can modify and make our own based on the various modules that we'll get. So right now we don't have any defensive modules, but you know, we have access to, I think we have specials here. So let's do, okay, we don't want, neither one of these do we want to put on our artillery tanks here. But the engineer unit is pretty cool in that if you create these guys, they'll actually create outposts on planet surfaces. But that being said, if we come back here and we buy this Mindwave implant, which I'm not going to because we don't have quite that much credit yet, or yeah, I just don't want to blow our credit right now on a Mindwave implant. We could add that to one of our units, and it would be able to do, what is it that it do? I think it takes over, right? It's a mind control unit, yeah. When under mind control, comma, a unit can't move or attack. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then clearly we can go to nanomechanics, which would heal neighboring armor or ship type unit up to 150 health. Ship generator or shield generators, which provides the other. I'm gonna go ahead and other shield ability increases max health by 20%. And then octashells are explosive weapons for armor class units, deals 85 damage and costs 140 credits to build. I will say that I've ran into quite a few minor factions, and those seem to be the only things you can purchase right now. I'd imagine they'll probably add more to those. But let's keep going. So my idea really is to get our military academy up and going so we can explore this planet surface a little bit more, and then I would love to get us up into the sky with the spaceport. So that'll be something that we'll work towards very soon as well. Alright, so we've developed, or we've researched technocracy. So we're going to go ahead and choose another research topic, which could be medical miracle, which is that ethonerium that I was talking about, that we were trying to, well, I was accidentally trying to colonize directly above. That would give us some cool new, allows the exploitation of ethonerium, and it has properties that can be used for a variety of medical products. I don't know if we actually get anything like a medical product with this, but we can come over here for trade initiatives. Unlocks the financial district, increases the city's income by 15%, and can be used to sell strategic resources at their market value. We're going to do that because I'd like to sell these since we don't really have any purpose for them just yet. And credits are super important at the very beginning of this game. So let's go ahead and rush this for 80 credits. Because now we have 2 people. And turn. And something that took me way too long to figure out was that you have to click on the district. Because I was like coming through here and I was like, man, how do you build units? But I was like, okay, let's try this. And I clicked on the actual military district, which you have to do in order to build ground units or armor units. So in this case, we're going to do a light tank because there are some creatures around that we can kill. And when we kill these creatures, we actually gain either however you pronounce this, it's going to bother me. So and I'm assuming that eventually we'll be using the either for various things. It sounds like it can be used for various purposes, from powering unique technologies to building otherwise impossible buildings. So I guess like you could build some like wonders and stuff with it. So we're going to build the light tank. Could rush it for 140. I might rush it for 140. In fact, I just did. so I will. And yeah, we'll come out of here. I don't know why it won't let me out. I'm right clicking, doing all the things I'm supposed to do. Alright, so let's come over here and actually explore this. Search these ruins. You've discovered a home to a band of slust, and they're annoyed by my presence. Okay. Well, that's no good. I don't want my weak ass scout to be destroyed, but it's about to be, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there's actually 2 minor factions here. Oh wow, okay. So now this is new. These are edicts. Okay. Or no, that's not an edict. I don't know what that is. I imagine maybe it's like a... Okay, you can just use 800 credits in exchange for 5 influence. Okay. And then sell medical supplies. If we sold 5 ethonerium to them, we would actually earn 800 credits. So these are actually new. I've never seen this. I imagine maybe it's because, yeah, alright. I can tell now that the various minor factions, based on like their city icon or whatever, their city look, sell various things uniquely to that like type of minor faction. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, So yeah, those are new. I've never seen these before. So invite migrants, which allows you to add new citizens to your capital for 6 influence. Very good. Very good. All right. And we got our light tank up here. Oh wait, our nether bull. What's going on up here? Oh, you know what I was doing? Oh my god, I thought I was actually Xing out of that menu and I was actually deleting the item from the queue. Alright, that may be confusing, and it also sucks because I paid the money for it. So if I'm deleting this from my queue, I should get the money back. And that's what happened last time too, I bet. So, yeah, I would imagine that would happen. That's what happened when I was here. I accidentally must have clicked on the X, and that's why the farming district went away. So, not sure how I feel about that. So definitely, if you're gonna X out, or if you're gonna like remove something from the queue after you paid for it, I believe you should be refunded the money, because I'm an idiot and did it accidentally thinking I was closing the menu. But yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yep, that sucks. There goes my scout. Where did the other... Oh wow. So the second my tank came here, it just destroyed that creature. So how bad am I damaged? Does it say? It doesn't say anywhere. I don't see anywhere where it may tell me where the damage is, because clearly it's damaged. It's got smoke coming from it, but yeah, that sucks. Alright, we'll just bring our tanks over here. Oh no, they're still there. What? Is it not 1 unit per tile? Maybe it's not. Tell me that. What is going on? Seriously? They just like walked into my city and attacked me. You do not get to do that. Alright, so we'll just keep moving our light tank over here, because I'm going to take out these creatures over here that just took out my light scout. But you saw that when I did that, I gained a little bit of ether. So now I have that 2.4 ether. But what we'll do now is see what we have to do in order to get another citizen. We have 11 turns before we gain another citizen. And in that process, I want to go ahead and build a spaceport, but I don't think that's going to really work right now. I'd much rather build a farming district there, but at the same time, if I do that, I kind of limit myself as to where I can go from here. Because I need a residential district to start being able to like expand my like control space. So as much as I don't want to do that, I'm gonna use that tile to do that, because I need some more space, definitely. In fact, you know what's awful about this is that I can't expand into anything other than here. So all I'm doing is losing, or I'm using this to gain 1 tile that I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to use. Alright, there's 2 food there, but I definitely can't use these. So this was actually a pretty poor place to put a city. I didn't really think too much about it. I was just looking at the food, but when you kind of surround yourself with mountains, it makes it difficult to expand the city. So lesson learned. But we will do what we can, because I think if we just do another residential district, we could expand out this way a little bit, and that'll give us some room to build that spaceport and stuff like that. It's the only way we can do it. Either that, or we build a... Wait, oh, I don't have one yet. Huh. I guess it must be something that I have to research. So, battle engineers, what are they good for? I could have sworn that... I don't know where the ability to colonize other planets, or I'm sorry, other cities come from. Fertilizers, maybe? No, instantly grow new forest in the current location if on a plains tile and with our borders. Activation costs 2 either. Oh, cool. So you can actually use the special module here to make more food available for your city. I don't know where. Robot farmers, maybe? Nope. We'll go to city defenses because I want the robot farmers, but I don't know how to gain the colonization unit. Because the last game I played, I just had it. So maybe it was like something like a technology that my race started with. Alright, so let's keep coming down here. We're going to find those guys, like I said. There we are. And the plan really is to, I guess, it's not working out as I was hoping for it to work out, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to have to use this residential district as a platform to expand this way. And then we'll go from there, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Oh my god, my tank lost to that thing. Seriously? Alright, so the Pharaoh Ramses the 12th is actually a human, so I don't have the ability to speak with him just yet. I can research that. So I can go through the research tree, which is, I believe, here. Yes. And study human communication. So I can't queue this up. I wish that I could. I think you can't queue. I want to be able to queue. And I think I just lost progress as I did that. Man, okay. Yeah, of course there's some things, some quality of life things that need to be fixed. But, you know, that is the way of early access for sure. Alright, so this I think is done now, right? No, it's just shy of being done. I'm going to go ahead and rush it because I want to see what my... Okay. So now, can I build on these? I can build on that tile. That's great. If I build a residential district there, I wonder if, yeah, I would gain access to these two tiles, which is actually okay. So I gain an additional tile, and I might be able to start building a spaceport too. So I think the residential districts need to allow for more. I think you can actually, let's come back for just a second. So let's click on this. Nope. All right, I know that there is a technology at some point, because there's an ability to expand its influence even further, and I think that must be something that I unlocked with technology. And I think in general the residential districts might need to expand your borders just a little bit more than they already do, because maybe, I mean, again, maybe it's just because I poorly placed this city, but like I'm kind of screwed right now. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, lesson learned. All right. So we need to declare a war against any faction, and that'll advance our Path of Ember by 4, which we don't have any points in yet. So let me see if I can find this. I want to show you guys. I'm not exactly sure where it is. It's not here. Oh, there we go. All right. So these are the paths here. So as you gain more points in these different paths, you gain access to variety of options. So like, okay, we get to 10 in the Path to Bliss. We get the opportunity to actually get the charismatic trait, or we get the opportunity to increase our prosperity in all of our cities by 1 for 60 turns. Then you can keep going for a lot further, and various things here will give me different options as I gain more and more points through all of that stuff. So anyways, it's an opportunity to advance your civilization through particular focus on any of these things. So there's a lot more to talk about. So I think this is a good point to end this episode. What I might do is push forward a little bit for a few turns. Actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep making episodes. So stay tuned as I continue to explore Pax Nova, as I continue to kind of learn Pax Nova. And we will, figure out if this game is worth your time together. So thanks y'all for watching. Stay tuned for episode 2. Until next time, keep exploring.